right, that was the closing bell from my Thinkorswim. Regular session's officially over. This is the Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. Welcome, everybody. Streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Discord as well. OXY is supposed to report at, let's look at OXY first. Whoops. OXY is supposed to report at 4:15 p.m. and HOOD is supposed to report at 4:05 p.m. Robinhood, hey, what's up, Farouk, over here in the Discord? Duco, good to see you again. Let me pull up HOOD real quick. There it is, right here. Okay, HOOD's supposed to report at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Let me go back to the sticks real quick. Okay, here we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, just get the price reaction to the earnings data. HOOD already getting some volatility here. So I go 1 minute chart since it's after hours price action. OXY spiked up to 56, 55-ish. Came right back down to 56. HOOD getting some buying pressure here. Wicked up to 1770 from around 17 bucks. So let's see, let me get my other screen pulled up because as soon as data gets released, I'll be able to post that for everybody on YouTube and what have you. You see, so technically the data's not really out yet, so unless they got leaked early or something, but the first one to report is supposed to be HOOD, and then 4:15 it's OXY. So I'll be on the lookout for HOOD data first, and then we'll look at OXY data. Let me just refresh my other screen. Okay. Let me go back here just for a second. I want to look. Okay, so here's Robinhood. They've been doing a pretty good job beating EPS lately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 past 5 earnings they beat forecasts. Before that, they were having some trouble. HOOD is known to be a mover after earnings. Not so much the last earnings in May. They were down 3%, but the earnings before that up 13% the next day, and the earnings before that down 14% the next day. So they definitely been known to make some moves. Let's go back to the sticks. HOOD kind of sitting up here at $17.55 in after hours. Let me just refresh my other screen. 4:03 p.m. So got a couple minutes before the data officially gets released. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so still waiting on data. Let me go back here to the, I want to look at OXY's previous earnings. So Robinhood, let me go back to Earnings Whisper. So forecast EPS 15 cents for Robinhood. Forecast revenue 629.75 million. So we'll see what the data ends up coming in at. Kind of go from there. Got about another minute or two before we get the Robinhood data. Let's look at OXY real quick. Well, first, HOOD going into this earnings release, HOOD was trading below the anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAP at low 20s, just above 20 bucks. We were trading below that before earnings. See if they get a positive reaction and can break back into the 20s maybe. We'll see. Just getting some volatility here before the actual data comes out. So I'll just kind of give that a minute. And I wanted to look at OXY reports at 4:15 p.m. Consensus forecast EPS 77 cents. Forecast revenue 7.18 billion. So we'll see what OXY ends up coming in at. Okay, it's 4:04 p.m. OXY wicked up, kind of. It's just getting like little flicker action candles. Matthew from YouTube, all in on OXY calls. Okay, well, good luck. I hope it works out. We're gonna know here soon. Okay, there goes Robinhood, tapped 18 bucks, just about. So getting a positive reaction on Robinhood. Again, I don't think the data's out yet. Let me just check. Okay, so that was the initial reaction was bullish, looked like a fake out move on Robinhood. Now it's coming down a little bit. Getting some flickering candles before the data actually I mean, the data should be out now. Let me just give it a minute or two and check my sources, and I'll post that for everyone once I get it. Okay, so Robinhood's down. It's just still flickering, so it's hard to call something right now. We need to wait for the data here. Let's see. Hope everyone's been having a good week. Week's halfway over. We've been trading the downside in the Discord a little bit. I opened up a hedge yesterday, call credit spread on SPY, which is paying pretty good right now. Oh wow, up 50% on those call credit spreads. That was kind of easy money with the VIX being so inflated as it is. I sold the 543 call, so I was short the call, so that's bearish. And then I bought the 542 call, which formed. I'm sorry, I sold the 542 call, so I was short that call. And then I bought the 543 call above it to form a dollar-wide spread. Collected like 25% of the spread. Sold a handful of them, and today they're up pretty good. So that was my downside hedge I opened yesterday, because the market looked like it was kind of rebounding yesterday, right? And actually sold those call credit spreads towards the top yesterday afternoon. Got a beautiful down move. Then we gapped up this morning. Looked like it wanted to run again, and then just right back down, basically to yesterday's low. So we're probably going to see a lot of that kind of price action as long as the VIX is as high as it is. Let's see what the VIX is at right now. Okay, let me just find it on my watch list. Where you at, VIX? Did I pass it? Hold on, here it is. Yeah, so VIX is still elevated, almost at 30. It's at 28 right now. So as long as VIX is at 28, we're going to see these kind of wild moves, right? Let me go back to the candlesticks on HOOD and OXY. Okay, and let me refresh my other screen because I gotta have some data out by now. Okay, let me see here. Earnings are out. Okay, here's a nice little graphic here that so Robinhood actually beat EPS and revenue. We can kind of just pull this graphic over here. So earnings per share, expected numbers 15 cents, came in at 21 cents. So they beat on EPS. And then the revenue forecast 642.59 million came in at 682 million. So they beat on that. So double beat on Robinhood. Now it's going to be all up to the forward guidance, right? So let me see if I can find any info on that. Also, let me just post that double beat for Robinhood. Double beat on HOOD, beat EPS, and beat revenue. So let's get that posted. There we go. Let's see if I can. I just showed the actual figure, so let me see if I can just copy and paste that. Okay, so here's some data on HOOD from AlphaSense. Pretty good source. They're pretty reputable. So just kind of going over it a little bit. Let me maybe minimize that so we can still watch the price action of Robinhood here on the right side of my screen. So Robinhood is red in after hours, about 2% right now. But total net revenues increased 40% year over year to 682 million. So good year over year numbers. Net income increased year over year to 188 million, and EPS of 21. Last year it was only 0.03. So big beats, big year-over-year numbers on Robinhood. That's good. Transaction-based revenues increased 69% year-over-year to 327 million, primarily driven by options revenue, of course. Options revenue of 182 million, up 43%. Cryptocurrency revenue up of 81 million. So they just knocked it out of the park with the year-over-year numbers. I know the chart looks a little sloppy right now, kind of whipped up to 18, and it came all the way down to 16. That's a $2 range right there. And now back up, I'm going to go and retest the 18 again. So sloppy price action, but overall year-over-year numbers are good. Net interest revenues increased 22% year-over-year to 285 million, driven by growth in interest earning assets. Increased securities lending activity and higher short-term interest rates. So total operating expenses increased 6% year over year. So that's not really good. You don't want the operating expenses to go up, but not really too bad. Primarily due to increased marketing and growth investments is what they're saying. So that's good. So yeah, operating expenses went up a little bit, but they're saying that kind of went towards marketing and growth. So that's actually not bad. I mean, if you're going to spend extra money, at least put it towards something that's going to help the company grow, right? And that's kind of what they did. AUC assets under custody increased 57% year over year to 139.7 billion, driven by continued net deposits and higher equity and cryptocurrency valuations. So just a little note from the CEO, Vlad Tenev. This quarter, we kept up the pace with rapid product launches and a relentless drive to provide top value for our customers, said Vlad. With Robinhood Gold reaching 2 million subscribers, we're witnessing the flywheel accelerate. It's 4:12 p.m. OXY is supposed to report at 4:15 p.m. So we got a couple minutes for OXY. Let me pull up my other screen here. Actually, let me just finish reading this. So the CEO says, I'm encouraged by the progress we're making as a business. That's actually Jason Warnick, which is the CFO. In Q2, we set new quarterly records for revenues and earnings per share as we continue to focus on delivering another year of profitable growth. And then you can kind of look at this later if you want a kind of breakdown from this earnings. Still waiting on OXY results. Let me slide this back over here. And let me just refresh my other screen and we'll get some data on OXY because I know a lot of people here waiting on OXY. I mean, so far, pre-earnings data, they're green here, almost 1% in after hours. Now that obviously can change once that data gets released. So just give it another couple minutes and then we'll get the OXY reaction. And I'm gonna have my other screen pulled up here. Okay, here's something I can post on YouTube regarding Robinhood. It's just the basic EPS and sales data. So it's gonna be HOOD. Okay, paste. And let me get rid of that and post that. So at least we got some financial data on Robinhood that everyone can see. Let's look for some OXY data. Should be coming out in another minute. We should have OXY data and we'll get the reaction on that. I know a lot of people were long on OXY. So we'll see how this kind of shakes out of the bag here. Let's see. Just looking at some notes on the side. I know Warren Buffett was buying OXY in the mid 50s. That's kind of where the price is at now. So he's probably been buying in at a lot of different price points. But all right, let's see. Now the implied move for OXY, or should I say the expected move for OXY? Let me just pull that up. This will be for Friday's expiration. Up or down $2.50, which that's going to be like a 4% to 5% expected move. That's kind of what people are expecting for the earnings is $2.50 move either up or down. So we'll see. Also, with tensions rising in the Middle East and oil potentially becoming $90 a barrel, this is going to be an earnings data we want to see here. And it's going into the earnings, OXY was sitting on demand from 2022. 55 is a good mental level there. Okay, let's see here. So we got some HOOD data. Let me just see what the expected move for HOOD was to see if that's what happened. HOOD's basically flat right now. Closed around 17 bucks, and it's just sitting a little bit below that right now. Expected move for Robinhood. Let me see here. There we go. $2.50. So OXY and Robinhood have the same expected move as far as the dollar amount goes, not by percentage, but up or down 250 for OXY, or up or down $2.50 for Robinhood. So we'll see. OXY getting an initial reaction. It's going to see a lot of flickering until the data actually comes out. Investors still digesting Robinhood's data. Just sitting below 17 right now. Want to see if we can get some forward guidance on this. AlphaSense didn't really give any forward guidance. Let me see. Let me go back one real quick. Refresh my screen. Okay, OXY getting some buyers. It's sitting at 56.66 right now in after hours. Let's see. Trend Spider putting out some info. We already have that though. Okay, I got people on Twitter going nuts saying this is the best beat I've seen in my entire life on Robinhood. Why is it just sitting there? They did have a solid beat on EPS and revenue. That's no doubt. Let's see here. 2 million. Okay, I'm just looking at Wall Street Engine here. Their year-over-year numbers are pretty dang good. I'm just looking for some guidance if they adjusted any guidance. Net income, cash sweep. I mean, basically all I'm seeing is year-over-year numbers. Let's see. Revenue breakdown. Okay, here's some outlook. Okay, so here's a little bit of forward guidance data. Actually, let me just move this back over so everyone can still see the chart. So fiscal year 2024 outlook for Robinhood. Operating expenses basically unchanged. They also expect to execute a $1 billion share repurchase over 2 to 3 years. So that's good news for Robinhood bulls. They're going to do a share repurchase that's going to span over 2 to 3 years. They're expecting to execute it. They haven't executed it yet. So when they officially execute that should be a nice bullish catalyst for Robinhood. But they did announce that's what they're expecting to do, is a share repurchase, $1 billion over 2 to 3 years. So pretty good there on Robinhood, not gonna lie. All right, let's go back to OXY. Let me refresh my other screen. It's almost 4:20 here. Okay, OXY earnings are out. Got some data here. And they beat EPS. Let me just post this on YouTube so everyone can see it. Okay, thanks, George. I just saw your note there from YouTube. I just got some data on OXY. So let me do this. OXY. There we go. Let me post this. Got some preliminary data here. So Q2 adjusted EPS, $1.03 versus only 77-cent estimate. So solid beat on the EPS for OXY. Really liking that. Adjusted net income. See here, looks like $1 billion versus the estimate of $776 million. So they beat on revenue by a lot, so that's good. Let me see if I can get some forward guidance stuff for everybody. Give me 1 second. Let me refresh my screen. Yeah, okay. For George, I just saw your note on YouTube. You talking about Robinhood? So I was looking at. Let me go here to one chart view real quick because I just want to look at what some of the financials were going into the earnings. And okay, so PE ratio positive 32, EPS 0.14, float 746 million. Okay, so that's all good there. Now, of course, the PE, we can compare that with their peers and competitors to see where they fall. Net income, back-to-back quarters of profitability. This is the third quarter. They had a bad Q3 and lost some money, 85 million. But Q4 finally pulled a profit, 30 mil. Q1 pulled a profit, 157 million. And the data that just came in now for Hood, and specifically the net income, in which was, hold on one second, net revenue 285 million. So just look at the growth in the last 3 quarters on Robinhood with their net income. That's good growth there. 30 million to 157 million, and now up over 280 million. So good growth there. They are up 1% in after hours. Working on a green 15-minute print right now. Still got 8 minutes left on this print, but nice and solid green candle that's forming here. And looks like some of the levels on the ask side of the spread, bid and ask spread. Ask is getting chewed through a little bit right now, so that's good for the bulls. And I'm telling you, with Robinhood, that 1 billion share repurchase over the next 2 to 3 years, that's definitely exciting news for the bulls. You got growth in the net income profitability, so that's always great, and exceptional year-over-year numbers. The only thing that they didn't beat on the year-over-year numbers, from what I'm seeing, is the monthly active users. Now, it was up 9% year over year, but they were forecasting 13.2 million active users, and they only reported 11.8 million active users. So they kind of missed the forecast on the monthly active users. However, it was still up 9% year over year. So there was some growth there, but not as much growth as it was forecasted. But other than that, they just smashed the year-over-year numbers, especially all the forecasts got beat except for the monthly active users metric. And then the outlook basically unchanged. The fiscal year 2024, they left unchanged as far as operating expenses go. But positive news on Hood. So congrats to the Hood bulls. We're going to go back to OXY here in a second. We already talked about net income. Hood's balance sheet, 85% debt to asset ratio. That could be a little bit lower, but they're not over leveraged yet. If that figure was over 100%, then they might be a little over leveraged, but still below 100%, but still kind of high. But looks like their net income, they made some great profit, and it was a great year-over-year increase and a fantastic increase from the Q1 numbers. So they got extra cash, which I agree with George on YouTube. Maybe they're going to use that to pay off some of their debt. So we'll see what happens. Oh, George was talking about OXY. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go back to the sticks and talk about OXY. OXY getting a nice bullish reaction here. Better bullish reaction than I think Robinhood's getting. But overall, I think the earnings data for Robinhood was great. And it's getting ready to make it's going after $18, which is where it wicked up to in after hours. That'd be go back to OXY and talk about that for a second. There we go. So OXY bulls, so far it's looking good. Okay, I got the EPS and revenue posted for OXY, so that's good. Let me see if I can find some outlook data, like some guidance data. We talk about that. Okay, here's a clear picture of the numbers here. So again, they were expected 0.77 EPS. They came in at $1.03. Fantastic beat there. Revenue Expected numbers were 6.7 billion, came in at 6.81 billion. So double beat on OXY. Now let's track down some forward guidance info. Just give me 1 second. Just a couple things regarding OXY. I'm gonna leave the candlesticks on the left here, but oil and gas pre-tax income for the second quarter of 2024 was 1.6 billion compared to pre-tax income of 1.2 billion for the first quarter of 2024. So just a couple notes from the president and CEO. The strength of our operational performance resulted in impressive financial results for the second quarter of 2024, said President and Chief Executive Officer Vicky Holub. We are excited to continue building on this positive momentum across our deep and diverse asset portfolio with the addition of Crown Rock. So pretty good numbers there. We can look at this chart a little bit later and dive into that. But basically, the CEO seems very optimistic. And again, we were talking about the turmoil over there in the Middle East right now. So if that escalates, probably be some more upside on any of the oil and gas companies, right? So keep your eye on the events unfolding out there in the Middle East. And I think long oil right now, while we're waiting to see what's going on over there, would definitely, in my opinion, not financial advice, but I think it would be a good move, to be long oil right now, until we see how all that unfolds over there. Let me just look at a couple other things here. This time is at almost 4:30. Okay. Okay, TrendSpider has some data here, but we already went over that. Let's see. Okay. Not really seeing some guidance yet, but give me 1 second. Okay, OXY sees Q3 production 1,370 to 1,410. So actually, that is a little bit of an increase in forward guidance with the Q3 production. They increased it by a little bit there. Huge beat on OXY. Getting a little pullback on the price right now in after hours, but overall, both earnings, OXY and Robinhood, both positive data. Positive data came out on both of these. So, I don't want to congratulate too early because, of course, anything can happen. But, it's looking like a congratulations to the bulls on both stocks, HOOD and OXY. Let's just talk about, kind of summarize a little bit of the OXY data for everyone. So in summary, strong operational performance drove operating cash flow of 2.4 billion and operating cash flow before working capital of 3 billion. So it saw increases there. Capital spending of 1.8 billion and contributions from non-controlling interests of 42 million, resulting in quarterly free cash flow before working capital of 1.3 billion. So quarterly free cash flow before the working capital, 1.3 billion, pretty strong cash position there. Let's see here. There was a midpoint of company production of 6 MBOED, for those familiar with the metrics of the oil companies. So the midpoint of the guidance, it came in at 1,258, which exceeded the midpoint of the guidance by 6. So that was good. Midstream and marketing exceeded guidance for pre-tax adjusted income by over 180 million. OxyChem approximated guidance with pre-tax income of 296 million. Okay, they are so they increased guidance on total company production, but as far as the full year production guidance, they're going to maintain it. So what they did was they increased the guidance for Q3 for company production, but left the fiscal year guidance. They just maintained it. Okay. So good stuff. We're just gonna have to keep our eyes on the stocks if you're gonna watch this for the remainder of after hours. About 4:30 p.m. right now. And yeah, the CEO will talk about the guidance in the conference call. Sometimes they release a little bit of guidance before the call, though, and that's kind of what I was trying to hunt down. Didn't really see much. So, but yeah, George on YouTube, you're absolutely right. The CEO will definitely be talking about that on the conference call. So, and if you want to join the conference call for OXY, it's very simple. You can literally just Google OXY Investor Relations, and then probably the first link that pulls up, you can click on that, and then they'll have a link there to join it'll be a web call, right? So same thing with Robinhood. So anyways, looks like we got our initial reactions. Robinhood, up a little bit, up 0.93% from, they closed at $17.12, but they're kind of basically just flat. There's a little bit of selling on these smaller candles, but Robinhood basically flat, but had good earnings data. OXY had good earnings data and is up 1% here. So we'll see if it can start making higher lows for the remainder of after hours. And then, we'll see what happens when we get the pre-market data tomorrow morning and kind of go from there. So we got our reactions. Personally, I think the earnings data was positive for both. Of course, there could be a secondary move when the CEOs of each company does their conference calls. Okay, so just be on the lookout for that. Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. Got quite a few people in the Discord. Got over 700 people tuning in on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So welcome everybody. I stream earnings every Wednesday, and just pick out 2 of the popular tickers that are reporting that day, and kind of go over some data, look at the fundamentals, the financials. Got a couple requests on YouTube. Let's see here. El Obrero, can you take a look at BLNK and TENK? Sure, we can take a look at that real quick. We'll look at BO, I believe that's, what's that, blink charging? Yeah, blink charging. Yeah, this is a tough one. They have earnings. Is it today? Or did they already have earnings this morning? Let me just look real quick. BLNK. They had earnings. No, they reported today. They just reported 30 minutes ago. So let's see what's going on. Okay, they're getting a negative reaction. They closed at $2.52. They wicked down to $2.20 and trying to form a bottom, but not really much has happened. Well, let me go to 1 minute chart. Yeah, I guess they are trying to form a bottom if you go to the 1 minute chart. So obviously moving forward, we want them to stay above 220 to see if there's any chance of recovery here. It's just a big sell side imbalance on the order book right now. Just something to take note. We can take a look at some of the fundamentals. I know they're probably not going to be that good. PE ratio negative, EPS negative, float 92 million. Let's look at income statement, and they're just having trouble pulling a profit. That's been the thorn in the side for Blink. You're just having a tough time making money. I mean, they make revenue. They pull in like 30 to 40 million in revenue each quarter. But after expenses, they can't seem to pull a profit. Now, the Q1 data and the Q4 of 2023 data did show an improvement year-over-year numbers, so that's something to keep note, that it has been some improvement here. So it's not all doom and gloom with Blink charging. Just because they're not a profitable company, it doesn't automatically make me write them off. As long as we can see signs that they're improving, and they have been improving. They took a pretty big hit in Q3, lost a bunch of money, but rebounded pretty good in Q4 and Q1. And we're just going to have to deep dive into the earnings data to see what they released today to see if there was some improvement there. So, take a look at the Blink charging data that they just released 30 minutes ago, and you want to look for net income figures and see if it's better than what Q1 had. We can cross-check that with year-over-year numbers as well. We just want to start seeing some improvement. So the data that came out today is pretty important for anyone holding Blink. Definitely want to deep dive into that earnings data, and just, you don't want to see their net income getting worse. For example, in Q1, they were negative 17 million. You don't want the numbers that got released today to be to be like, oh, negative 40 million, like they lost 40 million in net income, because they're going the opposite direction. We need to see them going back to the zero line as far as profitability goes. So if their net income, even if it was a negative number, but let's just say, for example, it came in at negative 8 million. Yes, it still sucks. They didn't make any profit, but compared to Q1, where they lost 17 million, and for example, if they only lost 8 million, that is going to show some improvement. I'm just not sure that they were able to pull that off because they're down 10% in after hours. So I'd have to spend some time outside of the stream looking at their earnings data and their balance sheet and income statement. But that's what you want to look for with the data that was just released. Is their net income improving or not? How's their margins and operating expenses? Is that going up or down? If it's going up, are they at least using that capital to better the company? Or what are they using that money for? So those are just kind of some of the things you want to look for. So I'd be interested to look at this later just to see what their net income came in at, to see if they are in fact improving their bottom line. So that's mainly what I would look for. Let's running out of time here, so let me just real quick, let's look at some of the trades that we've been doing over here in the Discord. Let me just pull this over real quick, and let's just see. Looks like I haven't checked the profit channel in a couple days here, so let me just kind of scroll down. Kills on Discord, looks like a free member too. Made almost 30%. Bought at 90. Oh, made more than 30%. If you bought at 90, sold at $1.29, so pretty good gain there. Snowflake hedged the little account and made $1. Okay, that's good. Hey, you got the hedge in place. That's what counts. UPS, nice gains by the doctor, 30%. Nice gain there. I haven't looked at this channel in a couple days. Mad Maverick, that's one of our analysts, made $1,400 today. Very, very nice. Well done. Pookie made 1,200. Good job there. This looks like the live trading. Babu Chris probably did live trading with Apple. Made $25 on SMCI, $81 on Apple. So it's pretty, live trading in the morning, probably in and out of the positions pretty quickly. So making some quick money there, basically. Grats to Latvian. Looks like had a really nice gain here on Meta. That's always nice to see. I'll give you a little emoji there. Mr. Top Hat, he said, put me back in, coach. Up 2,400 for the day. That's awesome. Looks like he was trading some SPY puts. Mule, Gratz Mule would have got some green on the table yesterday. I remember that this is the account I'm thinking of. That's one of your smaller accounts that's been growing pretty well. So Gratz on that. Let's look at the El Obrero. So why do stocks go down on earnings when they beat expectations? And we've seen that a lot this year, and we've seen that a lot over the past couple of years. And 9 times out of 10, it's because they adjusted the forward guidance downwards. So if the company beats EPS, beats revenue, sometimes they smash it in a good way. And all it takes is one little adjustment downwards on the remainder of the fiscal year guidance. Investors hate that with a passion, and you will see the sell-off if they do that. So that's kind of why that happens. And it goes both ways. I mean, I've seen companies do a horrible job. They miss EPS and they miss revenue by like a lot. I've seen it before. But then they increase their forward guidance and say the worst is behind us. The rest of the year is going to be fantastic. And then everyone piles into the trade, and you see the pump. So the markets are forward looking, right? So that's why sometimes we see companies miss EPS, miss revenue. Yeah, that sucks. But looking forward, they increase guidance and you see the rally. But like I say, it goes both ways. You get a company that beats EPS, beats revenue. Again, markets are forward looking. So that's great. Yeah, you beat EPS, you beat revenue for last quarter. That's great. But you adjusted the guidance down, and we are forward looking, and then you see the sell-off. Sorry about that. Someone calling my office phone. I'll just put them on hold. Anyways, let me go to some of the recaps. I think it was up here by the profit channel, just to kind of give y'all an idea of the, here it's here, analyst recaps. And let me just scroll this down. Okay, here's the one for today. Nice solid day today on the day trades. Thanks for posting that, Mad Maverick. We're fully transparent. We do have losers. You know, I'm not just here to show you winners, but we took a loss yesterday on some puts, but the other trades more than made up for it. And nice, very solid start to August, I must say. But we do get some losers. These are mainly day trades I'm looking at here. Yeah, see, here was a day where, you know, it wasn't all green. There were some losses here, and that's because, you know, the volatility is so high right now, and sometimes you can get caught in the meat grinder. But had enough winners to kind of make up for it. But usually it's mostly green. Every now and then there'll be a loss, but, you know, do your risk management, trade your portfolio accordingly, and we're all making some decent money in the group. So yeah, that's good stuff. Looks like someone else just posted some more profit. Let's go back down here. Smoking crypto. Let's see what you did. NVIDIA, 1 share. You bought it at 100, and then you sold it at 105. Okay, 5% gain. Nothing wrong with that. Good stuff. But anyways, yeah. So we live trade every day here in the Discord. So if anyone's looking for a new home, you know, feel free to check the link in the description. You can join for free. Check out the free section, see how you like it, and then kind of go from there. But yeah, El Obrero on YouTube, you're very welcome. And like I say, I do this every Wednesday for about 30-45 minutes. Come on here and just kind of, you know, we look at the sticks, we look at some charts, we look at some fundamentals, we look at some financials. I give you my thoughts, and then we look at some of the activity as far as trades go that we've had going on in the Discord. But yeah, I appreciate everyone coming out. A lot of people in the Discord stream as well. If y'all need anything, just shoot me a DM, and you know I get back to people pretty quickly. But yeah, other than that, I hope everyone has a great night. And if you're looking for a new home, check the link in the description. And if you do join, I look forward to meeting you. But other than that, have a great night, and I'll see y'all in the next stream. Cheers, y'all.